In today's video, we'll cover how to calculate concrete volume for PCC and then figure out how many cement bags, sand and crushed stones required. Hey everyone, welcome back to Civil Builders. I am Engineer Arsalan. In this video, we start by reviewing the drawings and extracted the required dimensions. These dimensions will then be input into Excel spreadsheet to manually calculate the concrete volumes, as well as quantity for cement bags, sand and crushed stone. Next, we use Revit to perform the same calculations automatically using its built-in tools. Finally, we compare the results from both methods and review them. Planned cement concrete is a mixture of cement, sand, aggregate and water and used to create a rigid, durable surface. Its primary purpose is to bear the compressive load and prevent the direct contact of structural element with the soil. As it lacks reinforcement, so it can't be used in the areas that are subjected to tensile stresses. Let's start today's video by reviewing the drawings and mark the dimensions like length and the width from the floor plan. Next, navigate to the section to check the thickness of the PCC floor. Here the thickness of the PCC floor is 6 inches. To estimate the volume, we need to multiply length, width and the thickness. The extracted dimensions is 60 feet, 40 feet and 6 inch. So we just need to input these values in our formula to get the required volume. Let's jump to the Excel workbook and perform calculations. So for the length, type 60 in the length column, and for the width, type 40, and similarly for the thickness, type 0.5 feet. To assign formula in the G4 cell, type equal to, and then select the respective cells like length cell and the width cell and multiply it with the thickness cell and type enter to perform the calculation. In this way, we get the calculation for this respective floor. Now to estimate total quantity, type equal to and then select number column and multiply it with quantity column and then press enter. Here we get 0 value because we haven't entered the number yet. So type 1, then we get total quantity for that floor. Let's head on to the real life project for PCC calculation. Here are the required dimensions that we have extracted from the drawings, where length of the plot is 60 feet and the width is 40 feet. Well, to calculate the total volume of this yellowish portion, we need to find the area. For that purpose, we need to subtract the total area with the lift area, underground water tank area and the sump pit area. To find the lift area, we need to multiply its length and width because as it is rectangular in shape, so we have to apply the rectangular formula, that is length into width. Similarly, for the underground water tank, we need to multiply its length and width. And finally, for sump pit area, we need to multiply its length and width, that is 6 feet each. Lastly, we input all these values in the formula to get the required area. Next, we input these values in our Excel workbook. To replicate this formula in these cells, double-click at the end of the cell or select the cell or drag it. Add minus sign in front of lift area, underground water tank area, and the sump pit area, so that it can deduce the values from the PCC floor. To get the total value, use the sum formula. For that purpose, type equal to and then write sum, add bracket, and then select the range, and then close the bracket and press enter. Next, we are going to calculate cement bags, sand and aggregate quantities. So 1046 is the wet volume that we have extracted via our calculations. For PCC, we use mixed design 148, where 1 represents cement, 4 represents sand, and 8 represents ratio of aggregate. So our first step is to convert this wet volume into dry volume. So for that purpose, type equal to and select the volume and multiply it with a factor 1.54. In step 2, we are going to calculate cement volume. For that purpose, we use this formula. So to assign this formula, type in equal to and then select cement ratio, divide it with the total ratio, and then multiply it with the total volume. For cement bag calculation, type equal to, select the cement volume and divide it with the volume of one bag of cement, that is 1.226 cubic feet. We knew that one bag of cement is 50 kg if the density of cement is 1440 kg per cubic meter. By inputting these values in the formula, volume equal to mass over density, we got the value 0.374 cubic meter. To convert this value into cubic feet, we need to multiply it with 35.315. Then we got the volume 1.226 cubic feet. For sand quantity, type equal to and then select the sand ratio, divide it with the total ratio and multiply it with the total dry volume. And then for crush, type equal to, select the crush ratio, divide it with the total ratio and multiply it with the total volume. Now let's summarize all these steps in a single cell. For that purpose, type equal to and then add bracket. Select the ratio of cement and divide it with the total ratio. And then multiply it with the total volume and then with a factor. And then again divide it with the volume of one bag of cement. And then enter. Repeat the same steps for the sand and crushed stone. Let's jump to the Revit screen and perform PCC calculation. So first navigate to the View tab and from the Schedule drop-down, select Material Takeoff. And from this dialog box, select the floor category and rename it as PCC Floor Calculation. And click OK. And from this window, select the required fields. To move the field from left to right, first select the field and then use this arrowhead to move them. Now let's keep on selecting the required fields and shifting them. We can adjust these fields from this arrowhead as well. For instance, I want to move this volume to the upper side and click OK to form a table. From the Properties panel, we can add more fields to the table and also to the formatting of this existing table. For instance, I want to calculate the total area. So for that purpose, I click on this Sorting and Grouping option from the Properties panel and then check this Grand Total option. And then go to the Formatting tab and select for Material Area. And from this drop-down, select Calculate Total and click OK to apply. Now let's add more column to this table and calculate cement bags, sand, and crushed stones required. For that purpose, click on this Add Field option and now add some calculated parameters. Rename this parameter as Total Ratio. Click on this three dots and select the sand, cement, and coarse aggregate and click OK. To calculate the cement bags, now let's add a new formula. Rename it as cement bags And from here, insert a formula and click OK. In the same way, we calculate the sand and crushed stones. We add a new formula. Rename it as sand. We got 7 bags sand and crushed stones calculations from this table. But there is a problem here. For instance, I just want this PCC 6-inch raft calculation only. So to filter this field, click on this filter option from this properties panel and then filter it by mark and select 6-inch raft and click OK. Now we get the value of this floor only. To change the formatting, click on this formatting tab, select all the fields and align all the elements by center and click OK. Now all the elements are aligned centrally. At the end, let's compare the results that we obtained from the manual calculation and from the Revit calculation. Here are the results. So we've got a difference of 0.34 bags and 0.02 cubic feet sand and 0.08 crush. That's all for today's video. In the next video, we'll proceed further. Make sure to like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video.